All right. Welcome back. I'm Andy Jenkins. Welcome to the Amplify Podcast. You are at the tail end of a 1-2 punch on coaching. Now, in the previous episode, we really talked about this idea of coaching an objective framework in a subjective way. You're coaching ideas and content that is concrete because you have built out a framework that takes people from where they are to where they're designed to be in some unique area. Now, if you haven't yet listened to the podcast episode, let's just say it's probably 8 episodes up, back in the rearview mirror. Just go back and grab that after you listen to this. It's going to tell you how to build a framework and why you'd want to build a framework, and then roll into the next mini series, the ABCs of how to get paid for what you know and monetizing your expertise. This is going to teach you how to coach all of that. So if you're a coach and you haven't done that yet, those are your first steps. Here's what it all came from. One day I was sitting in my living room and we're talking with some guys teaching through the advanced framework. That's some life coaching resources that I've created. And it dawned on me that all of us, we were kind of going to the same place, the same destination. Every guy in the room wanted to be physically healthier. Every guy in the room wanted to be spiritually stronger. Every guy in the room wanted to get to a place of financial ease. Now, there were other things too related to family and marriage and relationships with kids. Every guy in the room wanted the same things. However, just because we wanted the same things doesn't mean it looked the same for each of us. We all had the same framework, the same goal, but the goal looked different. And this is where you really kind of have to blend the two together. A lot of coaches are coaching the wrong way because they're just kind of coaching subjectively. Oh, hey, I'm going to help you. I'm going to interact with you. And really what they're doing is counseling. Or really what they're doing is, cheering. And I absolutely don't have anything against counseling. I've been to a counselor. I don't have anything against cheering. We all love having cheerleaders in our life. But you've got to coach on something objective and pull in the subjective experience of what it looks like when your client hits that. Let me give you an example. At Amplify, we help people multiply and monetize their message so they can get paid for what they know. You can get paid, make money off of your expertise. That's the goal of the framework. Multiply, monetize your message, make a bigger impact, get paid for what you know. That is the outcome. And so we give you a path to get there. However, that outcome looks different for people depending on where they are age-wise, depending on their life situation, depending on just kind of where they are in terms of priority. And that's not a value judgment. That's just saying, hey, we're all in unique spaces. For instance, some people want to monetize their message just enough to fund the message moving forward. That's my dad in this season of life. He's saved for retirement well. And right now, if he just made enough money off of his books to fund his mission trips, he would be super excited. That's a subjective way of looking at an objective framework of getting paid for what you know. Other people want to leave their full-time job behind and create a new career path. Or they're at a season in life where they've stepped back from a career. And they're thinking, okay, I've got a little bit of money in the bank to make this thing work. And so I want to create a full-time income that enables spouse to work less, that enables me to just focus on this full time. That is the same objective, get paid for what you know, but a different subjective look and feel. Some people, honestly, they just want to share the content. I was talking to a guy on the phone earlier this week. He just wants to share the content. He said, I've just got some great ideas. I've made enough money. My business is funding. So if this makes money, great. If not, I can invest and it can lose money. Well, that is a different subjective look at what we teach about multiplying and monetizing your message. He just wants to multiply it, right? He's not even worried about the monetize. Some people want to leave a legacy. So they want to teach specific things to leave behind for the people in their family or for the people that are closest to them, or the knowledge they've accumulated over decades, and all of a sudden they're saying, hey, but before I take my final few laps around the sun here, I think I want to impart this. Some people are already doing the work. They're already coaching. They're already running a business. They just want to craft the ideas in another way to share them even more. So you get the idea there that it is an objective framework, but people come into it with their unique experience. The win, the trophy, the outcome looks a little different for all of them. Now, a lot of coaches coach, in my opinion, the wrong way. I know that sounds so harsh, but they're coaching just the subjective, and they're not leading people towards the objective outcome. You've got to focus on the objective outcome, but at the same time, you have to pull in the subjective. And so that becomes where coaching is part science, part art, and you get the joy of figuring that out. That's the topic today. All right, all kinds of links down in the show notes. Take a look, and here it is. Here's the training on coaching. Number 4, do the daily tasks. These are the lead measures. Everyone becomes enamored with the lag measures. Let me repeat it, and then I'm going to define what those things are. Do the daily tasks. These are the lead measures. Everyone becomes enamored with the lag measures. All right, so now after you've broken this framework down for them, you need to hold them accountable and encourage them through the daily grind of doing the work. The daily action steps are where the magic happens. Now, I'll get it. This is the most boring part of the process. Sitting in the chair and writing, getting up early and exercising, pushing the desserts or snacks aside, doing the spreadsheets and the cookbooks and getting all the receipts and, reconciling this, practicing the speech or the skill or doing the task over and over and over, or cranking out the reps or outlining the lesson plan, crafting the content, all that. It is often the unseen work that no one applauds. No one sees it. No one even knows they should celebrate it. But since you're the coach and you're walking with them, it will help if you see it and encourage them in it. Now, on the screen, a graphic. You've probably seen this, a gajillion times. It's the iceberg on top of the water, visible success. Here's what we're talking about when we come to the daily task. We're talking about underneath the surface, the invisible struggle, the persistence, the failure, the sacrifice, the humiliation, the doubt, frustration, good habits, extra hours, isolation, showing up even when you don't feel like it. It is the ongoing stuff. Now, lag measures and lead measures. Things that are done, like the weight that you see on the scale, is a lag measure. The number of sales that you see generated revenue at the end of a promotion is a lag measure. If you're in church world and you're kind of trying to grow the attendance, the number of people that show up on a Sunday is a lag measure. The lag measure is so often what we become enamored with, and the lag measures are important. However, the lag measures are the results of the lead measures. The lead measures are the daily work. It is the grind. We talk a lot about this in the building a business plan for your business module. So you might want to just kind of boomerang over there if you're wanting to learn more about lag measures and lead measures. The lead measures are the grind. The lead measures are, hey, you get the book and you get the pages if you lead measure, do the hours in the chair. The lag measure of losing the weight is if you do the lead measure of how many workouts did you do this week. The lag measure of money in the account is the lead measure of, okay, where did we cut stuff on the budget, or where did we raise the income and do all of that? So you are needing to coach them, not through the lag measure. What you're coaching them through and holding them accountable to is the lead measure. Now, at this point, I want to kind of take a rabbit trail, and I want to talk to you about the smarter goal setting system. I didn't make this up. Yeah, I've seen this in so many different places. I don't even know where you would cite this, but this is going to help you with and we're going to take a little bit different twist on it with those lead measures. So as the coach, you want to help them set goals that are smarter, SMARTER. That is the acronym. I'm going to highlight this here on the screen, and then we're going to walk through what does the smarter goal system look like. Okay, S. It is specific. This means you choose a priority and you go after it. Other good things may have to go undone during this season. Now, remember, people have current life obligations. They've got other things that can't go undone. You have got to help them see what they can do, what significant stuff they can do that's specific, that might seem small in the moment, that adds up in light of everything else they've got going on in life. And practically show them what this lead measure looks like. Let me give you an example. Writing 5 pages per day times 7 days. 5 pages a day is not a whole lot. 7 days, that's 35 pages a week. If they do that for 2.5 months, they do it for 10 weeks, 350 pages. Okay, question. Even if they perform at half that pace, why do people take years to write a book? And Google says 99% of the people that start a book never finish. Why? Because right there, you could do it. Another example, losing 2 pounds per week, 2 a week, times 15 weeks, about 3.5 months, 30 pounds. Yet a lot of people who start off losing weight at the beginning of this year, they'll return at the end of the year having gained weight, even though they wanted to lose weight. Let's do another one, reading. If you read 10 pages per day times 7 days, so that's going to be 70 pages per week, 16 weeks, that's 4 months. So 70 pages times 16 weeks, you just rocket that out, 1,120 pages. Okay, or to say it another way, you could read through the entire Bible 3 times in a year. You could read through a new novel or self-help book about every month. So why aren't people reading even though they say they want to read more? Okay, here it is. You break it down into small lead measures, not the lag measures. So let's do the math on another level. If you break 3 quarterly goals into 3 weekly objectives, into 3 daily priorities, just 3 things you do every single day, 3 tasks a day, times 7 days a week, that's 21 tasks a week done towards their goal. That's 52 weeks a year, 1,092 steps towards designing their life. Do you see how this works? And you just need to remember the 80-20 rule when choosing where to focus, meaning there are 80% of the things you do that generate 20% of the results. So they're not irrelevant. They just don't get the output that the 20% that generate the 80% do. So identify the activities that make a difference and lead your client as you coach them through the daily grind, the lead measure of that. Measurable. Make sure that each of the action steps they take are quantifiable so that you can see what to do, how long to read, how long to work, how many pages to write, how much to exercise, whatever. Without making progress, people lose heart and then they give up and they quit. But when things are measurable, it's easy to make progress because what gets measured actually gets done. Accountable. Hold the person accountable. When people hire a coach, when they hire you, they are paying for access to a person who guides them and pushes. That's a great word right there. Pushes them. This is what distinguishes coaching from courses. A course is just content. A coach is a person right there walking with you, holding you accountable
pushing you forward from where you are to where you dream of being. It's also what distinguishes coaching from counseling. Counselors don't push, they pull content, they pull ideas, they pull thoughts and feelings out of you and reflect back to you what you're saying, what you're sensing, what you're feeling. Coaches don't counsel, although there's an element of counseling involved. They push. So hold the person accountable to the lead measures. Are risky. So you need to push them, and the daily actions they do should move them out of the comfort zone. Well, I can't write 10 pages a day. Have you tried? I can't write 5. I can't read. I can't. Have you tried? Now, you don't want to push them into the delusion zone. You don't want them to get to a place where they can't do something because it's impossible. They would not be able to do it. Even with all the time in the world, they wouldn't be able to do it. Like they just, and you don't want to push them into a dread zone where they hate showing up, but you do want to push them into a discomfort. You want to find that sweet spot between, oh, this is easily doable, and push them a little bit beyond that, where they're not quite uncomfortable, but they're a little bit like, okay, I'm a little bit. Let's find a sweet spot, okay, in the daily work of what you're leading them to do. Time bound. So you need to make it clear, and you need to mark it clearly. Now I'm not just saying like so often I will do. This is how most goals work. I will lose 30 pounds by May the 30th. That was actually a goal that I had at one point, and I did it. What you need to say is not like time bound in the sense of like, okay, time bound, I'll do this by then. That's looking at it as if it's a lag measure. You need to look at the lead measure. You need to place the lead measures on the calendar. Time bound those. Focus on the correct measure, calendar, the lead measure. So I will do this action, X action at X time. Why? Because if I don't do that action, I can't expect to, hit that. So give you an example. Writing grants and that nonprofit, been doing a lot of work with. Man, it's kind of realized I got to block certain time to do grants. Like you can't just go, okay, we're gonna raise X $100,000 of grants this year. Like that's not gonna happen. What will happen is okay, every first and third Tuesday of the month at this time, I'm gonna sit down in my chair. And if I'm out of town or have to put something else on the first and third, okay, I'm gonna move third to the fourth, first to the second, whatever. Make sure 2 days out of the month working on grants for this, because the daily grind and the accountability and oh yeah, it's a little bit uncomfortable. So it's like you gotta sit down and do it. It's time bound, mark it clearly. That is the lead measure that gets to the lag measure. Okay, again, some goal setters say I'll lose X pounds by X date, or I will write in X pages by X date. No. Look at it differently. Those are all lag measures. They are the results of daily actions. We want to clarify and quantify the daily work, the lead measures. If you do the lead measures, the lag measures happen. Okay, that's even a pro tip. Focus on the lead measures, the lag measures take care of themselves. So we're going lead measures, smarter, SMARTE, exciting. The client needs to see a clear line to the bigger picture of what they're trying to achieve, the life they are trying to build. Well, what are they trying to build? Well, you talked about it, discussed it earlier, the subjective experience of what the objective potential looks like. And this starts needed to happen immediately. So you need to like show them in real world time, like how they are teaching them how to lift heavier weight. And you show them, hey, you're making progress here. Hey, look, the scale's going down. Hey, man, look at this. We've been working on this book manuscript for 3 weeks. Look how many pages we have. Hey, you've been working on this course. You've been working on this podcast. Look how many episodes we already have. Hey, look how awesome your course is looking. Hey, look, we've been firing up your social media. Look at what it's looking at. You need to show them. Don't be like Mr. Miyagi in The Karate Kid. Do you remember that? Daniel's son is showing up every day, and he is sanding the deck, or he is waxing the car, or he is painting the fence up and down. And these are all, as you know now, these are all lead measures that are going to lead to the lag measure of knowing top-notch karate. But he doesn't see the clear line. And so without seeing the clear line to the bigger picture of, hey, man, if you keep going in this direction, we're going to get there. We're going to get there. You keep look at the progress you're making. Without seeing that, it's not very exciting. It is a drudge. And you might remember the scene. He wants to quit. He's ready to walk off. And then all of a sudden, like they have this moment where, Mr. Miyagi starts punching at him and shows him, show me paint the fence. Show me wax on, wax off. Show me, and all of a sudden he knows karate. All right. That works great in the film, but it doesn't work in life. So make it exciting. Finally, make it relevant. The actions must dash the goal, and they've got to work in all of life. It's got to fit. It's got to fit with what's going on with their fitness and health. It's got to fit with what's going on in their financial role, what's going on in their family, what's going on at work, what's going on in their faith life, what's going on with their friendships and relationships, what's going on with their fun, with their hobbies. It doesn't need to be that your client has to quit everything in order to make this happen. Now, for sure, there may be seasons you're launching a product or program with them, or there might be a season where they're finishing up that book, or there might be a season where very quickly there's a certain goal and everything else shuts down just for a moment, but they don't need a never-ending list of stuff to do. All the action steps have got to work with this goal, and they must also fit with their other priorities of a well-balanced life. I'm going to show you on the screen. We highlighted those areas earlier. All right. Now, focusing on the lead measures always leads to the lag measures taking care of themselves. Number 5, dot to dot to dot to dot to dot to dot to dot. You could just keep going on indefinitely. You need to keep the path before them in both directions. You need to remind your client how far they've come, plus remind them of where they're headed, where they are going. Keep holding the goal in front of them and remind them that they are, in fact, making progress. They are going forward. It is so easy in so many goals that we undertake to get stuck in the messy middle. We get in this place where they've come too far to quit. We've come too far to quit. But it seems like, oh my gosh, like I got so much more ground to go. So here's what I'm saying is you want to remind your client of the gap. You want to continually show them, hey, don't quit. You got more to go. Like you want to finish that book. Hey, don't quit. You want to grow that organization. Hey, don't quit. You're like trying to rebuild this marriage. Hey, don't quit. You're walking in mental or emotional health. Hey, don't quit. You're going to know how to play the guitar. Don't quit. You're going to know how to play the piano, and you're going to sing that song at that wedding. Hey, don't quit. Whatever you're training them to do, you want to remind them of the gap and what lies ahead based on the subjective feeling and subjective what it's going to look like when they hit that objective goal. But you also want to remind them of the gain, of how far they've come. So we're not going to just measure the gap between where they are and where they want to be. We're going to remind them of the gains they've made consistently connecting those dots in both directions. You remember like you've come this far and you did this and you felt this at that point, you kept going, you kept moving, and now we're here because of that. So we're going to keep going and keep going and keep going. And we're going to help them see what they will be like if they continue moving forward for 3 more months. What's life going to be like? You keep doing this for 3 years. What's life going to be like? You do this for 5 years. What's going to be like if we keep on going? And hey, what's it going to be like if nothing changes? I remember recently we were dealing with one of our kids. One of the kids had a struggle related to school and just some other stuff that he'd gotten into. And man, he had some consequences and things in front of him, and they seemed so overwhelming. And he said, oh, golly, do we have to do all this? And the initial thought was, yes. Yeah, because of some of the choices you made, we got to do all this. And then it hit me. I said, you know what? Actually, you don't. You got a choice. You don't have to walk out and do this work that's laid out before you to hit this goal that's now out ahead. Like you don't have to. However, if you don't do the work, here's what it looks like. And so I was able to, in that moment, paint both pictures for him. What does it look like if we move ahead and hit the goal? And, the subjective experience of that objective reality. What does it look like if we don't do anything? What does it look like if we just kind of stay right here, which you can't really stay? What does it look like if we take the other path? And so you want to show them and you want to help them build something intentional. Remember, design versus default. There are two houses that will help you maybe kind of see this. The Biltmore Mansion, if you've ever been there, North Carolina, it is a mansion that it embodies intentional design. Everything, the landscaping, the architecture, the rooms, the floor plan. I mean, hundreds of thousands of people come from all over the world just to walk through this house because it is an architectural marvel. And then on the other hand, you've got this Winchester mystery house out in California. The Winchester family, the Guns, built this. It was said to, some stories suggest, they were haunted by, in their dreams, just ghosts and visions of people that had died at their firearms. And so this house was just built haphazardly, the story goes, in order to provide housing and space for all of these ghosts that were conjured up in their mind. And where's the Biltmore? Very intentional design. Everything leads to something. The Winchester, it literally has stairwells that go to nowhere, that just go to a ceiling. It has doors that open to a wall. It has closets that are nothing. It has rooms that are cattywampus. It's just thing after thing after thing. Like it's extremely well done, but it's just so chaotic. And so what we're trying to do is to get people not to do things well, but chaotically, but to do things well by design with intentionality. And that's what you're coaching them towards. So as we round it out, coaching people so that they make real progress through your framework, practical considerations as we close out this module. If you can get your clients results, this is practical 1 of 3, just observations, they'll stay. So deliver client success. Create a scenario whereby they can't afford to not have you around because of the value you deliver, to where they're making money off the products and programs that you're helping them launch, to where they are running a business that is fluid and seamless and organized and has a great degree of system and process because of your coaching. Create a win-win scenario where the most logical thing for them to do is keep you around. Practical step number 3, make sure that your system, meaning your framework, automates success for the average person who is qualified and takes the steps. So as you have clients that you're working really closely with and they keep bumping into issues, go back and add some training modules and go back and patch the holes and go back and articulate the pitfalls. And honestly, that's how we keep refining this stuff and amplifies. We see, okay, what are the set points people are hitting? Keep refining it so it gets better for them and it gets better for the next people coming into your process. Practical step number 3. It's easier to keep an existing client than it is to find a new one. So back to making it a win-win-win all around. You see? Other questions? Just to think through as you're pondering it. How many coaching clients do you want? How many clients can you actually serve at a higher level? And by the way, this is all stuff that would play into the module on building a business plan for your organization or for your person there. How long do current clients stay with you? And what would happen if some of them stayed just a little bit longer? Another question, how many clients do you need in order to continue your organization at the same level? And is that a comfortable level or do you want more? How many do you need to grow? What's the churn rate? What's the turnover rate? What would happen to your business if they stayed longer? Do you want them to stay longer? How much more could you charge new clients if you help them reach a higher degree of success? And do you have the tools in place to do that? Do you see? Now you know, because we just walked through it. Now you know how to help your clients dig down to their deepest desires. Now you know how to help them define what the ultimate destination looks like for them. Now you know how to draft a roadmap with doable segments, taking your objective framework and putting it into subjective scheduling. That leads into the daily tasks and watching those lead measures, not the leg measures, and then the dot to dot to dot to dot. You got it.
I am holding in my hand the newest book, Process Over Permission. It is I'm just reading it right off the cover here, long subtitle, but it tells you what it's going to do. Your 11-point plan to make the publishing game work in your favor and multiply and monetize your message. Now, here's what I would love to do. Ship you this book. Send it to you. I've already bought the book for you. It's absolutely free. It is sitting in our shipping department downstairs. We office out of the house and we have an entire setup down there. I would love to ship it to you. You pay the shipping and handling. I will send you the book. The link is down in the show notes. Here's what you're going to learn. It's just what the subtitle says. It's an 11-point plan to make the publishing game now work in your favor. You might have felt like you wanted to write a book, or you might have thought, hey, I've got an idea, a message to share with other people. You might have even thought, hey, this is something people need to know, but you're not sure how to get started. Or if you got started and even got that thing on paper or in your computer somewhere, how would you even get it out there? Well, this book is going to outline the process that I would use. The processes we actually do use even now to move the message from idea to print, to course, to coaching, to blog post, to podcast, to all the other things without doing more work. In fact, once you understand the process, you can actually do less work and achieve more. And I tell you this, now is the best time to do this. The technology, the industry, so many things have changed so that now all of this works in your favor, even if you've never done this before. So I would encourage you, the link is down in the show notes. Process Over Permission, your 11-point plan to make the publishing game work in your favor and multiply and monetize your message. You can do it. We'll help. The book is down in the show notes. We bought it for you. Pay the shipping and handling. It's on the way. Just tell us where to send it.